Welcome to Sapota, Akambe, a show that gives an opportunity to you, the fans of different sports disciplines, to react to sports development. Today on Sapota Akambe, tikamba pali basketball. Kabora kamanza kaza kupona mzamkati tururu kasefa yangena. By the way, Zambia has never qualified to the Afro Basketball Championship. It has always failed. When we talk about the Afro Basketball Championship, ni Africa Cup ya basketball, monga maneri Africa Cup ya bola, manje ko basketball. Zambia kuliko kangwa kushita qualify. Sivishtika. And how competitive are the leagues of basketball in Zambia? We're talking about Yakumi Gold, Yako Copper Belt, and the Midlands Yakuno Kulusaka. How competitive are they? And how qualified are the coaches for these different teams? Hey, we were at NASDAQ to interact with fans of basketball. Kutiba kambe pona viva kambe pasapota kambe yale kutiba tuze konanga why Ivo sitako qualify kwenda ku Afro Basketball Championship, and how qualified are the coaches, and of course how competitive is the league. By the way, you have a chance to win yourself this regalia and the cape yaba gao bamene batipereka pasogolo. We're talking about gao sport betting. So now my question is rolling up a screen, just respond, then you get a chance to win this particular regalia. Nice it is, and several other goodies right here on Sapota Akambe. Let's join our crew and see the excitement of today's basketball. Sapota Akambe Kambe ku NASDAQ. Check this out.
Now, first and foremost, I would like to find out how competitive is the Zambia Basketball Association?
The talent is there. It's very competitive. It's just that most of the players do this as by the way, like they're either students and players, or they're either employed and players. This is why we find it difficult to compete out there with other teams from other countries, because some countries are privileged enough to have their team sponsored. So for them, it's like a full-time job. Yeah, so for me, I have to go to work, then when I knock off, then I go practice. But for others, they have 3 practice sessions in a day. So if you're looking at international competition, when the two meet, I mean, obviously they have an advantage because they work out more than we do.
I can say we slowly getting there. It's just putting the support that we need as a sport in Zambia in place. Because you cannot just operate alone as a sport. You need people that you can partner with. I think that's cardinal in every sport. Yeah, just looking at other sports like soccer, netball, handball. They've also got people that they partner with. It's what we need as a basketball league in Zambia.
Well, the NBA league, because I'm sure you're aware that. Now the main body is a federation, so they are now, if you like, each province has got a league. So Hawks as a club, we are competing in the NBA league, which is the Midlands Basketball Association, and rightly speaking, it's a very competitive league, and compared to other countries, yes, we are getting there. It's a process, but I think the league is becoming competitive, and we should get to the levels where the other countries are right now.
The funding which is put in there, that's where the problem comes in. Because as the way our games are played or the sponsorship we have, they are not as comprehensive as the leagues in Angola and South Africa. For instance, in South Africa, they have a professional league where players are playing as a job. They play and paid for what they are doing. Same goes to Angola. So in those lines, our league can be compared to those 2 countries you have mentioned. But when it comes to Zimbabwe, Malawi and these others, we are almost at par in terms of competitiveness. Yeah, so it's an issue of trying to see how the basketball is supported by the corporate world. That will add more value in terms of how competitive the league is going to be. Yeah.
Now, Hawk is one of the teams in the ZBA, and I know for a fact that Zambia has never qualified for the Afro Basketball Championship. Doesn't that indicate that the league is not competitive enough?
Not necessarily. I think, like I mentioned, it's a process. Sometimes to get to these competitions or tournaments, it's how you prepare and the mindset. So, like I mentioned, we are becoming competitive. And I think we should see Zambia qualifying to the Afro Basketball tournaments in the near future.
We do have a lot of talent, be it on the coaching staff and coming to the players themselves. We need to prepare ourselves adequately in time for everything. So be it in our league as basketball, I think it's all about preparation. It's all about how well we select our players, how well we prepare for every sport. I cannot say we don't have the material or we are not capable of. We are capable of. We have material for every position in the league. So even the coaching staff itself is also, we have a lot of coaches that can fill positions to help out in every position. So it's all about preparation. It's all preparation, yeah.
No, the issue is not with competition. We do have talent, but talent has to work hard as well. Talent enough is it's not enough. So, like I said, if I have to train 3 times in a day, then I'm sure I can, hold my own against a guy who practices 3 times in a day. So we take Angola, for instance. See, qualifying for the Afro, the continent is divided in zones. Angola is like one of the best teams. They have one of the best teams on the continent, and they're in our zone. So for us to beat a team like Angola, we need commitment. We need to work harder than they do. So for them, whenever they're playing us, they camp abroad, in Spain, in Portugal, while us, we do it locally. And for them, they play teams that are out there. They have more experience than we do. So I think the biggest problem, it's not the talent, it's just finances. If you tell me this will put food on my table, I'll stop whatever I'm doing and put my all in it. Because believe me, we have talent here. You see, South Africa, Zimbabwe, we compete favorably with them. We're able to beat them, despite us having few practice hours. Now imagine if we put our all in it. We're talking of, the right dieting, the right equipment, financing travel, we'll be there. Just like soccer. This is why, if you look at when the national team won the Africa Cup, you look at how they prepared and how they prepare now. It's different. That's how they were able to get those results. So I think it's unfair to attack the sport if you do not fund it. Yeah.
No, yes, we have never qualified for that, and maybe it will be the issue of for you to qualify for the Afro basket. We need to be consistent in terms of participating in the qualifiers. You need to be consistent in terms of building your long-term goals. It might happen like this year, this round they participate enough for qualifiers. The next year, we don't have resources to go and participate. That kind of. So it always destroys the rhythm in terms of consistency and building the team for the future. If we can have a long-term plan in terms of the national team. By this date, we need to qualify for the Afro basket. By this date, we need to have this type of players. That will make it easy for us to qualify. It's not a far-fetched dream, but it's a dream which is within reach. If Zimbabwe can qualify, if South Africa can qualify, if Mozambique can qualify, we're also capable of qualifying. Yeah, so it's the issue of just trying to have a long-term plan, and that long-term plan for the federation is supported by other stakeholders, be the corporate world, the government, the players, the coaches, and all the stakeholders involved in this. Yeah.
Now, someone mentions to say there's enough talent in the ZBA. Now, my question would be, when it comes to coaching, how qualified are the coaches in the ZBA?
Well, I think looking at the NBA in particular, the coaches that are handling the various teams that compete in the league are qualified to coach the teams. But like I'm saying, I think sometimes it's a combination of a lot of things. It's a mindset of the players, it's how you prepare for games, and it's a whole lot of things. But like, we are getting there. It's a slow process. We seem to be, but I think a lot of things are being put in place now that are correcting a lot of things, and we should be able to attain the levels that we want to attain.
Well, I believe I was offered that opportunity to do level 1, and I'm looking forward to doing FIFA level 2. We've got enough coaches. We have enough coaches in the league. I cannot say we don't have coaches. Coaches are there, players are there. It's just like I said, it's all about partnering with people that are willing to take the sport to the next level. Yeah.
So from what you are saying, the sport is not well sponsored.
I believe the people that are in office are looking for people to partner with. We've had people that have come in to sponsor. I think MTN was there. Kwese also did the same last season. So it's all about people to partner with, that are looking to partner with the league for the whole season, not just coming into. How will I put it? We need to invite people to come in to run with us as a whole league for the whole season. We've been privileged to have MTN and Kwese do that. Yeah, we're not saying we haven't had people to come in to do that. No, the people that have come in and they have assisted us with the help that they can assist us with. Yeah.
Now, being a coach yourself, are you eyeing for the national team coach at some point in future?
Everybody prepares for something. I'm looking to grow players on individual level, team level, and if I'm privileged to be given to coach the national team, I mean every coach looks for that. I would be honored to do that.
Most of the coaches are former players, right? They rely on the bits and pieces here and there, but we do have a few coaches that have gone there, so that have gone for like coaching clinics and stuff. That also is a concern. See, if we can have coaches, again, the coach himself has other commitments. He's a family man and stuff like that. If this will put food on his table, then he can go to coaching school and stuff, so that when he's coaching a team here, it's employment for him. Because coaching school is not free. He has to spend money. So we do have coaches that are able to understand the game despite not going to coaching school and stuff, and they do well. Now imagine what they would do if they were able to go through coaching school and stuff. So I think the biggest challenge is just sponsorship, yeah. But there are a few qualified coaches.
So if we are able to produce talented players, meaning they're being handled by qualified coaches. Yes, there is a kind of different kind of coaches who have different kind of qualification. Right now, the federation is trying to work on unifying or trying to have all the coaches having the uniform kind of qualification. The other coaches have been trained by the National Olympic Committee, other coaches have been trained by the International Federation, others have attended local training, and currently there are so much training courses online that also create that. So in totality, I could say in terms of qualification, we have qualified coaches, which is at, I could put it at 70%, because there are different leagues we have. The B League, maybe they're handled by a few coaches who have never had that opportunity of being exposed to intensive training, that kind of a situation. So all in all, I would say we have qualified coaches, but it's an issue of trying to have them have the standard kind of training pathways.
Now, looking at the caliber of players in the ZBA, do you think they are motivated enough to give it all when it comes to, national team assignment?
I'll speak from a level as a player, and this is how I'll give it. Before anything else, you as a player should be motivated enough for anything. You playing the sport should be motivation enough. So if I'm to give you an incentive, that should come on top of where a player is. If you're not motivated, then I come and give you that incentive. It will still not mean anything to you. You get my point? Yeah, so as a player, you should have that motivation to do good even before the incentive comes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about Hawks, one of the teams in the ZBA. From your point of view, what's the target for this season?
Well, look, every team, when you start the league, your target is to win the championship, isn't it? Or rather the league, and qualify for the championships, and win the championships. So yes, as Hawks, that is our main aim, to win the league and win the championship.
So what should fans expect from your team this season?
They should expect a lot of good basketball. We have a lot of experienced players. They've been together for a long time now. I'm sure they understand each other very well. So yeah, fans should expect a lot of good basketball from Hawks this season.
So what's the target for NAPSA Stars this season?
This season, I think as a team we are aiming to qualify for the national championship. So we need to get into the top 4 ceiling. If we can get into the top 4 the national championship, then other things will sort out themselves. Yeah. Yeah. So that is our target for this season.
So if you look at the status of ZBA in maybe in the continent, how would you rate the ZBA?
We still have a long way to go. Honestly speaking, we still have a long way to go. Yeah. We still have a long way to go.
So what would be your message to your fellow players who are trying their best to improve the sport?
Not to give up. I mean, I understand that most of us play this sport because we just love the game. It's just a passion at the end of the day. So I would urge them not to give up. Yeah.
And to the association?
I think this has been a cry for so long. Teams have been asking them to find sponsorship. That would be. I mean, you can look at the crowd here. There's a good turnout. So advertising would not be a problem. So if the association looking to that and get sponsors, to come aboard. Yeah, most companies could do that as well. Like if each company can pick up a team, public social responsibility, that will help the sport a lot.
Obviously, you've enjoyed. That is what was happening at NASDAQ. People reacted differently to the reason as to why we've never qualified to the Afro Basketball Championship, and how qualified are the coaches for basketball, and how competitive are the leagues for basketball. As per tradition, on Sapota Akambe, we always make sure that we give you the results of the games which are played over the weekend and some few days, and of course to give you the fixtures of the games that you expect to see in the coming days, just to keep you abreast with what is happening as far as beautiful games are concerned globally. We're talking about the MTN Super League, we're talking about Serie A, EPL, and of course the Basketball Association of Zambia, talking about the games that were played. Now let's check them out. We'll be back on the flip side. Ndiye nkani ya kaena Sapota Akambe chishocho wa mawama kukupasani mama chances kunena kutemula nkulepo izi ndizi zimateka mbwibe de badala kulibonesha ta temu abona ndeva menetika mbapo pa Sapota Akambe mwaona vane vichitika munkani ya basketball. hey, the best that you can do is to make sure that you make a date with us next time on Sapota Akambe. Allow me to salute the crew of Sapota Akambe. We're talking about Franklin Kapindula, Tembo, and the rest of the crew at ABN TV. Join us next time on Sapota Akambe. Keep watching ABN TV.